How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be ranking Star Wars games from the worst to the best. We done this nearly a year ago after the release of Jedi Fallen Order, and I think it's fair to say that it went over pretty damn well. Now, since then a lot has changed. Battlefront 2 received a lot more content, Jedi Fallen Order received a random update that improved the game, and we have Star Wars Squadrons now, as it was released nearly 2 weeks ago. Now, as opposed to last time, I have actually gathered a few friends who have played the games that I haven't, and between the three of us, there is just about nothing that we haven't played, and we have put together a list that we think most people could agree on. Obviously, when it comes to Star Wars games and ranking them, someone's going to disagree, so that's just the way it is, and that's fine. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep in mind, some games have not aged well, therefore it's kind of hard to put some above others. Now, before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars gaming content, and let me know your favorite Star Wars games down below. Now, I will actually list off some honorable mentions first, as this was damn near impossible to do, and the games that missed out on the top 10 need to be at least shown some love. So first, let's roll the honorable mentions.
Destination set.
So kickstarting off this list at number 10 is Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Back in 2003, we were delivered a game that up to that point had the best lightsaber combat that we had ever seen, and for the most part, it still holds up to this day. Academy had amazing customization options for your character, incredible force abilities, and again, I want to stress it, lightsaber combat. I want to hammer that home, as it is what I at least remember this game for like the most. Also, being able to play as a light side character, but dabble into dark side powers was great for some options to how you specifically wanted to play the game. Now, it could be nostalgia talking, but this is undoubtedly Star Wars game royalty. So coming in at number 9 is the newest Star Wars game, that of course being Star Wars Squadrons. Now, this one might cause controversy because a lot of people don't like this game. Some people just don't like flying games, but the fact of the matter is a lot of people do. So whether you love it or you hate it, you have got to appreciate it for what it is, and that is probably the best starfighter game that's ever been made. What it lacks in content, it makes up for with in-depth gameplay that has a fairly steep learning curve. You really know that there is depth in the gameplay when there isn't actually enough buttons on a controller to handle everything you need to do. The game's graphics punch well above its weight for a $40 game with incredible immersive atmosphere to go with it. You really feel like you are in the pilot seat of an X-Wing and a TIE fighter, and combine that with a solid campaign that takes you to some new and old locations. Star Wars Squadrons isn't everyone's cup of tea, but it is undoubtedly fulfilling childhood dreams all over the world right now, and the people who love this game really love this game, and probably would go as far to say as it's their favorite Star Wars game yet. But also on the other hand of the spectrum, those who don't like it would call it one of the worst, as it's a $40 title that's built for a specific audience. So make of it what you will, but this does have a strong case of being the best starfighter game we have ever seen, so it does deserve its entry on this list. And now coming in at number 8 is Star Wars Battlefront. Back in 2015, EA rebooted the beloved Battlefront franchise to fairly negative reviews, but Battlefront from its launch to its final day of live service transformed into one hell of a game that was so much fun to this very day. Its only limitation is that it is only content from the original trilogy. Now, that will please Star Wars fans who haven't liked Star Wars since 1983, but that's about it. But looking back on Battlefront, it's about the only big problem that people tend to have with it. Having said that though, the content that is there is amazing and really reaches all corners of the specific era. Heroes in Battlefront feel like overpowered monsters, which is just so much fun, and the gameplay was relatively simple but was still always fun. The 4 DLCs added to this game improved it tenfold, as it was shallow with content on launch and wouldn't have even been close to making this list, but it did improve a lot over time. It looks incredible in the Frostbite engine, and this game has a pretty unfair stigma that follows it around. And that's normally stemmed from people who really don't know what they're talking about and are making uneducated assumptions, because it is a great game. So on to number 7 now, we have Republic Commando. This game is beloved by so many Star Wars fans and has been for over a decade. The mid-2000s were a real golden era for Star Wars games, and Republic Commando was a massive contributor to that. Clone Commandos are one of the coolest clones that we know of, and we got a game completely centered around them, played from a first-person point of view. Like, that is just awesome. The main thing that has always stuck out for me with this game is the HUD view to make it look like you're looking through the lens of the Commando helmet. I've always liked that, and it adds something when you kill an enemy and you get like residue all over your visor. It's just awesome. And I really love how you can instruct and command Delta Squad. It's a mechanic that I've always liked. This game honestly just about has it all. It's a true gem of the mid-2000s. And quickly moving on to number 6, we have The Force Unleashed. Now, say what you want about The Force Unleashed sequel, but I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. But either way, the one thing most people can agree on is that The Force Unleashed is amazing. The opening mission, playing as Darth Vader wreaking havoc through Kashyyyk, is something you just don't forget. Not to mention, this game is the game that you play if you want to go crazy with Force powers. Like, you pull down a Star Destroyer in this game, and it's one of the things that made this game really well known. Combine that with some amazing work by Sam Witwer as Starkiller, and you have yourself a single player story that's definitely worth your time. It's not canon, but that doesn't make it any less fun. I really would love to see Starkiller come back in video game form somewhere down the line in a modern retelling of this game with modern game mechanics, modern graphics. I think that would just be amazing. But either way, we still have The Force Unleashed to go back and enjoy, and it is for sure one of the better Star Wars games. But at the halfway point now, at number 5 is LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Now, I have no doubt that LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga will overtake this game when it's released at some point next year. But the last time I ranked Star Wars games, I had The Complete Saga at number 8, and it made people a little bit mad. I probably did underestimate just how many people have just so much love for this game, so it jumps a few spots from last year's ranking video. Now, The Complete Saga offers a different but the same retelling of the prequels and the originals that we know and love, but with that signature LEGO humor injected into it. You can't take these games too seriously, and that's why they're so much fun. A lot of you guys probably grew up playing this game, and there isn't really anything wrong with it at face value. It's a great game that is basically universally enjoyed. But getting into the spicy end of this now, and at number 4 is Battlefront 2 2005, the original Battlefront 2 that just about everybody loves. I still to this day go back and play this game, and I'm always blown away with how ahead of its time it was. It of course helps that most of the content in the game centers on the Clone Wars and prequel era as a whole, as it came out in the same year as Revenge of the Sith. This game has so many amazing locations to take part in these huge Star Wars battles. From the Jedi Temple on Coruscant to the lava pits of Mustafar, there is so much to enjoy. The hero gameplay is of course outdated, as you would expect with a 15-year-old game, but it is still a ton of fun to rip up droids as Mace Windu. The campaign for this game is also exceptional, with it focusing on the clones and telling the story from their perspective, which is something that was further explored with the Clone Wars TV show. And I think we all know how awesome that ended up being. This game honestly nailed its starfighter combat for its time. Taking part in the battle over Coruscant with Jedi starfighters, like, that stuff never gets old. There are a handful of elements in this game that I would really love to see in modern Star Wars games, like Galactic Conquest for example, and I have no doubt that the next Battlefront game that we see from EA will take advantage of modes like that. But the original Battlefront 2 will always be an absolute gem of a Star Wars game, and one that Star Wars fans cherish for years to come. But now at number 3, we have Battlefront 2 2017. Just nudging out its 2005 predecessor, is arguably the most controversial game of all time. A stigma that has followed the game around still to this very day, but anyone with half an idea will be able to tell you that Battlefront 2 today is barely recognizable from its launch. Battlefront 2 staged one of the greatest comebacks in gaming history, arguably the greatest. The reason we decided to give this Battlefront 2 the edge over its 2005 big brother is because it has content from all 3 eras of Star Wars, with modern gameplay, with modern graphics. Battlefront 2 is visually one of the best looking games yet in the multiplayer genre, so we just had to nudge it out over the OG Battlefront 2. The infantry gameplay isn't super in depth or anything, but the hero gameplay was a massive step up from its 2015 predecessor. Unfortunately, this game's live service was cancelled before it could actually live up to its full potential, which I think says a lot. There was still so much that they could have done with this game, and even though Battlefront 2 had arguably the greatest comeback in gaming history, it probably had the worst decision in gaming history to end its live service. Ending a game in its prime is definitely not a good idea, but either way, this game has something for every single Star Wars fan. With plenty of prequel, original, and sequel content, there is something there for everyone. The prequel and sequel content was a major selling point for this game. I still remember seeing Darth Maul and Yoda pop up in that first trailer. It's just something I'll never forget. And being able to go hands-on with like Kylo Ren was amazing, and seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin running side by side on the battlefront is one of those awesome moments that this game provides. Battlefront 2 at times can be one of the most immersive Star Wars games ever made. The campaign was predictable, but it was visually incredible. I think it did lack in story, but it didn't lack in its visuals. Battlefront 2 really did go from being just about one of the worst Star Wars games to one of the best over a 2.5 year period, and I think that's pretty amazing. It's been a really crazy ride. But the runner-up at number 2 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I must say this personally is my favorite Star Wars game. Do I think it's the best? I think it's really damn close, to be honest. Fallen Order surprised critics, it surprised fans, and it even surprised EA. Fallen Order told the story of a Jedi Padawan who escaped the Jedi Purge and went into hiding and is hunted down by the Empire. The story of Fallen Order was very enjoyable and helped flesh out the dark times even more. The character of Cal Kestis was likable and well performed by Cameron Monaghan, and the gameplay was challenging, but really in-depth and fun. And that is what could have been make or break for this game. Respawn just done a great job with lightsaber gameplay and force powers. The only fault with Fallen Order is its replayability, but a random update came to the game in May of this year, which did help with that, adding an arena-style mode which absolutely improved the game. Still, one of the best parts of this game are the incredible cutscenes, the details, the graphics, the mocap performances, the atmosphere it all creates is second to none. The characters in this game are incredible as well. Instead of relying on pre-existing characters, Respawn went and made their own, introducing characters like Cal Kestis, the Second Sister, Taron Malicos, Night Sister Merrin, and even little cute BD1. It's honestly a cast that I really hope that we see more of down the line. Now, I know EA have big plans for Star Wars games, and there will be a sequel to Fallen Order somewhere down the line, but it's going to take something pretty special to top this game. So that of course leaves only one, and coming in as the best Star Wars game of all time is Knights of the Old Republic. Look, I really fought to have Fallen Order at top spot for this video, but it's hard to ignore Knights of the Old Republic. This for many people has been the best Star Wars game since it came out back in 2003. There are elements of the game that haven't aged well, absolutely, but you can't take away the incredible story it told with all of its twists and turns, as well as its characters. Knights of the Old Republic gave us some of the best and most beloved characters to this day, and it's a perfect showcase on why this era is something that people want explored more. The Old Republic is an incredible era of Star Wars with endless possibilities, and you really understand that after diving into this game. Knights of the Old Republic was really important for RPGs upon its release, and it was the game that helped put BioWare on the map. Like I said, the game hasn't aged well in its graphics and elements of the gameplay, but characters and story are what this game excels in, and that doesn't age like the graphics do. Knights of the Old Republic is just about the definitive Star Wars game and a classic for the ages, and that's why for this video, it comes in at number 1. But that's just what we think. Go ahead and let me know what you think down in those comments. Just remember to keep it civil, as this is just for a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. But guys, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more like it, then go ahead and drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel with post notifications on so you don't miss a thing. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you all for dropping by, and I'll catch you all in the next one.